on the board. VRDL went up against Terminal City on Saturday. They won 256 to 221 in a nail-biting game. Mad Melorina got a 34 points in her first jam, and then she started the second period winning 29 points. G-Banger also scored a 20-point jam during that bout. VRDL then went up against Arizona this morning. They were lagging behind in the second half and then did an incredible comeback to do 252 points to 164. We've got a minute left for me to race through this. Mad Mel and that one did 28 points, being the highest scoring jam. These are two closely ranked, incredible teams that seem to have come out of nowhere and just won everyone's hearts and minds. These are the teams that everyone has wanted to play.
Absolutely. Eaglemont Slane, good seeing you here tonight.
Great.
How are you feeling? You got a big smile on your face. Looks like you're excited to be here as well.
I am so excited, and so I cannot sit. It is that exciting.
Hey, that is fine with me. You just stand up, get that energy out. Looks like we're getting ready to start.
And speaking of Mad Melorina, she is standing on the jam line ready for some awesome.
And she is up there against Moonraker. We still may have a couple more seconds before this actually goes. It looks like both are bringing out their star jammers to start this thing off.
VRDL wearing the white and Wasach wearing the blue.
And I see a hand going up to the official, and we have the bout. The bout we've all been waiting for is now starting.
Incredible, strong, physical pack to start with, but it's Wasach through to be our lead jammer.
That is Moonraker kind of bouncing back and forth between the blockers, finally finding her opening, getting through.
Mad Melorina pushing away through that intense wall of blue.
Not really slopping down Moonraker. Moonraker given by Tiger. She's going to fall off the jam and get those quick 4 points before calling it off.
Coming up the jam right now, we have G-Banger in the hangar for Australia's Victorian roller derby.
And we've got Skull Candy out there for Wasach. You notice both those teams quick to get on that line, doing that battle for the jammer line again, as we've seen so frequently.
Looks like they both like to make as much trouble for the jammers as possible.
They do. We see a little dancing back and forth. Wasach letting Skull Candy go through easily, but she's forced back to pack. Avoiding that penalty.
Wasach smoothly letting their jammer through, but not leaving an opening for G-Banger to use that ball.
They've got it pretty well up there. I believe that is Skaty Gaga from her skirts.
And it looked like I spoke too soon. She found a hole. She made a hole. Got past that line of defense. And VRDL have lead jammer for the first time.
Colonel skirts up there helping out Skull Candy as best she can.
VRDL's working hard, but they have to let it go, it looks like. Will they eat the baby? I don't say no at this point.
So G-Banger going to go ahead and call off the jam after scoring 3 points. And they're going to try to close this gap just a little bit.
Wow, so with 2 jams over there, the score is 4-3 in Wasach's favor.
Definitely not disappointing so far. Once again, we've got Moonraker lined up, jamming for Wasach.
And it's swish karaboom for VRDL.
There's the whistle. Moonraker getting off an early hit before trying to fight through that pack. It's like smashing pop and fight to see she's trying to get through. Finally, Moonraker through the pack, and she will be your lead jammer.
Swish karaboom, chasing hot on her heels. I do love a jammer race.
And there's very few things more exciting than a jammer race out there.
Kind of purity of form. Meanwhile, the block is figuring out their strategy, how fast they want to make it, how aggressive, and Wasach is showing they can get aggressive right there, but hold off to keep it, to protect those points.
Yeah, Moonraker turned around, saw Swish Kaboom right behind her, and just kind of looked like just kind of let the jam play out as it would. As soon as she passed her, go ahead and call it off. Live to fight another day, right?
Really quick again, big O merchandise.
Mad Melorina on the line for Victoria.
And I believe that is Skull Candy. I can't quite see she's leaning down, but I believe that is Skull Candy laying down there for Wasach. And it is Skull Candy who will be jamming.
Seeing a little sliding door action from Bucky there.
They felt as if there was a no pack.
Sorry, Rocky, not
Side pack.
It's a different skate.
Lady Gaga back there frustrating that jammer for Victorian.
However,
Unfortunately,
But coming through, it's Mad Ballerina as the lead jammer.
Skull Candy still back there, stuck behind Rocky. Nice four-wall of white up there.
it is
And she's getting a little frustrated.
It's very difficult.
Vista's leaping onto the track to get in the way of Mad Ballerina.
These corners to be able to see the outside and the inside is such a difference.
Mad Ballerina looking for her buddy, finding her friendly white, leaping through for a grand slam, a natural grand slam.
It's always nice to see those, you know. Be able to get those extra points with the other jammers still out there. It takes a little extra skill from those blockers. Skull Candy finally makes her way through, but it looks like she will not be lead jammer, obviously, as Bad Ballerina.
Ruby Rip Crusher going to the penalty box for a multiplayer block. Penalty of extremely high sensitivity in this physical skirmish roller derby.
So Skull Candy will sit down, and in will come Moonraker for Wasach.
G-Banger on the line for the IDL.
Only two blockers out there right now for Wasach. That is Colonel Sturts and Melanie Pfister.
And they're up.
Moonraker using that speed, able to get by Tiger. Moonraker is going to be your lead jammer. And we have a power jam. As G-Banger is headed to the penalty box, I believe that was cutting the track.
Apex twin.
That wall of white, they've been successful in the past holding back the limiting the damage of power jams, but very impressive work there, coming through for 5 points. Wasach keeping it nice and slow.
Now they may have been successful in the past, but Moonraker's hard to hold back. You see her kind of slow down before making that quick jump into that pack.
Quick pushing out by, I think that is, Chewy Lyons.
It only lasted so long. As Moonraker's to the pack, that's going to be another 5 points for Wasach.
The IDL getting a little bit of Wasach there, getting ready to kick it, but then deciding to keep it going.
Moonraker through again. That's another 5 points.
Rusty though. He was
As Wasach blockers continue to win Moonraker do it on their own, and I believe she saw the jammer for Victorian stand up and decided to call off the jam.
just chasing that driveway.
0 additional points scored by Wasach.
So we still have a power jam. 4 blockers to 4 blockers, so it's going to be hard work to go around with him.
It is. Nothing doesn't come easy for this one, I don't think. So Wasach has retaken the lead, 19 to 12. As we have about 23 minutes left.
You see Wasach doing what they're working hard to keep. And look at that incredible fancy footwork there. Dancing around.
And she's finally going to get the multiplayer block called on Rocky, and that's going to give Skull Candy lead jammer. Skull Candy gets it a little easier this time, but she just skates the outside. I don't think the Pat knew she was there. That's 5 quick points for Wasach.
G-Banger back on the track, causing speed to happen now as they fight to hold back this incredibly physical jammer. 3-3-3 Vista knocks down G-Banger. Vista continuing to mess with G-Banger's action with some very nimble footwork. G-Banger fighting for that inside line, but Wasach just will not give up, forcing her to recycle all the way back.
Boy, Skull Candy just continues to rack up those points. Another 5 for Wasach.
G-Banger finding the inside line doesn't always work. A nibble to the outside and then sneak through the inside. A little bit of fancy zigzagging awesomeness there.
I tell you, when Skull Candy only has 1 blocker to beat, that makes easy work for her. I didn't see the final score,
It was 4 points on that final pass.
but I believe that was about 19 points total scored by Skull Candy.
I'm going to do a little investigating.
I want to remind everybody that Big O merchandise will be closing at 6 p.m. If you have not yet bought your Big O merchandise, you have about 10 minutes. It is all on sale. So if you want to head to the Big O merchandise booth now and pick up your shirts, programs, mugs, etc.
So investigating done. Investigating done. So Wasach picked up a tiny 19 points in that previous game and 15 on the jam before.
Very, very nice. That's put Wasach back in control. As we've got Moonraker once again jamming for Wasach.
For another minute.
And that is Swish Caribou jamming for Victorian through the pack as well. However, not lead jammer. Moonraker going to call it off after getting that quick 4 points. We're done for Wasach.
Incredible physical game. 42 points Wasach, 12 points for RDL.
Howdy guys. Howdy guys.
Once again, we've got lined up Skull Candy out there for Wasach.
And 505, Mad Metal Arena.
A matchup we've seen a couple times before. We see the blockers getting in position.
Everyone getting low.
Big scrum there going into turn number 1.
Some very physical play there.
Looks like both jammers get pushed out of bounds. Both points to be back. That time Skull Candy goes low and outside. She will be lead jammer.
Meantime, Mad Metal Arena looks to recycle again. She's got some company though. Her F is back there to back her up as well. To credit all of that incredible Wasach story.
And we heard a lot of groans from the Wasatch bench just a minute ago. As I didn't catch the name, but a blocker came out of the bench. Did a Wasatch player. And, I don't think the Wasatch coach is too happy about it. That's probably what F is going to go talk to the officials about currently.
But I think what they can be satisfied with is those 5 sweet points that just came in. Yeah.
Absolutely, Dog Slade. Who would not be happy about another 5 points on the scoreboard?
Banger on the line from VRDO.
So we've got Moonraker out there once again for Wasatch. F and the coach for Wasatch is off the track and back to the bench where he belongs. Quick those things turn around. Here Victorian had lead jammer and Brandon Moonraker was out of the pack.
Nice defense.
That's the power jam situation once again for Wasatch.
Unfortunately,
I think one of the things that Wasatch has had a 5 points for Wasatch, and Wasatch has also just had an incredible tight control of their penalties this whole a few struggles maybe in the beginning, but just most of them, I would say, in a low 20.
I've been following Wasatch rolling early for a while, and I think the biggest improvement I've seen this year is just the lack of penalties. I mean, really staying out of the box, it makes a huge difference. As Moonraker comes around, and scores another 5 points for Wasatch. So Moonraker calls off the jam. Her bench over there is going crazy, slapping their hips, trying to get her to call it off. She finally hears them and does that. And how many points did she score that time? Do still a little investigating for us. Let's see what we find. Meanwhile, I believe that is Mad Mellow, or excuse me, I believe that is G-Banger in the penalty box still for Victorian. Skull Candy over out there for Wasatch.
And wow, look at that tough dancing around on the inside line. Just incredible skating there. And we have our lead jammer. It's 5-1-3-4. Go, Candy!
How many points you scored that last game? What were you able to find out?
15 points.
Hey, very nice.
Really good.
G-Banger also through the back on her scoring run. And Skull Candy won't call off the jam after scoring 4 points. Looks like Victorian wants a timeout. Chance to discuss a few things.
On Apex
So during this time out, we want to remind everybody that we are coming to the close of this weekend, as fun as it may have been. And so for all skaters and anyone else who's out there, we'd like to ask you to clean up anything you may have, pick up your trash, get it ready. The people putting on this event want to get out of here as soon as they possibly can. So anything you can do to help them out, we would definitely appreciate it.
And a big thank you for the commitment that Emerald City has made to make this a green event. It's a lot of work and we're very proud of that. And to all the volunteers who put in all sorts of work behind lines. And you don't want them to have to sort through your trash, so do the right thing. And also, just as a reminder, I know you guys might not want to leave your seats to go purchase this, but Emerald City, you can still buy raffle tickets and at halftime right here, we will be drawing prizes.
So it looks like the halftime has concluded. Skaters are back lined up on the track. Once again, we do have Moonraker out there for Wasach.
And swish Caraboom, white 138 for VRDO.
So Wasach, they fell behind for a little bit, but now have built up a pretty good lead, now 66-12.
Look at that incredible wall through there. A bit of truck and trailer just to make it even harder to get past.
That is Moonraker who will be lead jammer.
Swish Caraboom fighting for the outside, fighting Wasach Pistol, zooming around. But unfortunately a forearm held her there, so she's going to have to sit down on the box.
That is, another power jam for Wasach. And I tell you what, we've been seeing a lot of those multiplayer blocks. It seems like that's been kind of a common penalty call so far as Moonraker gets to the pack and is going to score 5 big points for Wasach.
Wasach, look, I really feel sorry for any lone jammer on this track having to go against the physicality of this jam. But it looks like that physicality day of mayhem included something beneath the knees. And so we have Tui Lion going down for a low block major.
Moonraker meanwhile gets another 5 points in that jam. She gets back. Only 2 blockers left out there currently for Victorian. Making it easy for Moonraker to pick up another 5 points.
Incredible apex jump there, and she calls it. Another 15-point jam if my memory is correct. It's hard to keep track of those grand slams.
I think you have an amazing memory. I would never doubt your memory.
Swish Caraboom standing in the box.
And we've got Skull Candy out there for Wasach on the jammer line. So immediately, it looks like the Wasach blockers are going to back up. Skull Candy up against Chuck, trying to get through. And she does. She will be lead jammer.
So it looks like the audience wants Candy, but VRDL most certainly does not. Incredible holding her back like that, though. Such nimble footwork.
Skull Candy taking a huge fall.
Big spin out there.
And I'm not sure, but I believe that was the flying nunchuck that put that big hit. Kind of hold her head as she goes off the penalty box.
Atlas look getting forced around there by Nicholas.
You gotta wonder if fatigue is a factor here. VRDL having
in position to walk in front. And that is the end of this bout. Thank you so much once again to everybody who has joined us here at the Big O tournament. This is the last bout on this track. We have scrimmage black and white bout happening on track 3 and a sanctioned bout on track 2, excuse me. So check that out. Make sure that before you leave, you check out any last merch or vendor booths and grab all your stuff. If you have something, it is going to be in the last bout in the front. I suggest you hug a ref, say something nice to our staff before you leave here.
And we see Skull Candy getting up and she's skating off of her own power.
To Drive-By City.
Definitely hope she's okay. This is a very physical game. And the last thing we want to see is an injured skater.
It's great to see the fantastic smile on her face there. What an incredible skater and what a trooper.
It is, and we definitely do appreciate having our medical staff here to help out with those types of injuries. And so we
Thank you so
wish Skull Candy the best,
Capital City.
and hopefully we will see her again soon. All right, now it looks like officials are getting back in position as we get ready to start this bout back up. Still got the official timeout going on as a little bit of discussion is going on between the officials and after the coach of Wasach.
There's been some amazing derby going on this weekend here at the Big O, and I hope that you will all be coming back next year for the Big O tournament right here.
I've just spoken to Chama, and there was no penalty related to that. So there was a low blockage to that, but there was no...
Wait, the jam right called off the jam. So the hit was back, the jam was called off, and she determined there was no penalty. So as we get started, we got Moonraker out there jamming for Wasach. And that looks like Matt Mellarine out there for Victorian. Moonraker through the pack quickly, and she will be the lead jammer. Moonraker jumping in the inside, calling off the jam after picking up a quick 4 points. Matt Mellarina had got through the pack on her scoring run. Moonraker apparently aware of that, calling it off before Victorians allowed to score any points.
Swish Caraboon now on the jam line for the
And we've got Harry Slaughter out there for Wasach. And I believe this is the first time we've seen Harry Slaughter jam tonight. Sounds like we got a few Harry Slaughter fans out there. Harry Slaughter kind of taking a passive approach, going to the back of the pack, kind of in a scrum now. Getting some help from Colonel Skirts, puts a big hit on Tui Dion.
Swish Caraboon fighting her way through that wall of blue. The wall of blue then charging towards us from the front of the pack, having it go again. Swish Caraboon managing to evade many of those blockers more than a few times. Come through to be our lead jammer.
So Harry Slaughter not giving up, eventually gets through the pack and she begins her scoring run.
Swish Caraboon getting low, trying to do a few fake outs on that wall of blue. Chasing the inside and outside line. She's moving so fast. Helped out by her teammates, guarding some of the Wasach.
That was Crystal Brawl who was trying to throw that line hit on Swish Caraboon. Boy, you know, good news for Victoria, but they're off that 12. They've been stuck at 12 points now for quite a little while. So those 4 points mark the first points they scored in a little bit.
It's kind of hard to believe the score, 94 to 16. Very even game except for those power jams that just rip things away. We've seen Victoria come back from some pretty amazing spots for point differential, so it'll be interesting to see what the next few jams hold.
So Moonraker jamming for Wasach. Moonraker will be lead jammer. Looks like we got G. Baker jamming for Victoria, gets by Bruce Arrigo as it was in out of pack play, forced to let her go.
Some great action now from Tiger, forcing, forcing the jam to call.
So Moonraker dancing back and forth a little bit, finally gets pushed out at the inside the pack. She's going to go ahead and call it off rather than try to force any more points. Ends up scoring 3, 0 points scored for Victoria.
Matt Mellarina lining up.
So we are seeing for the first time tonight, jamming for Wasach that she's battling against. And Bugs Bunny's taking down those blockers one at a time. Eventually he's going to get through. She will be lead jammer.
Mad Melorina, but being forced to the outside and Wasach getting to get a 2 for the price of 1, slowing down the pack and making it just that much more difficult for Mad Melorina to pick up momentum. But she manages to get through and forces the jam to be called.
So 5 points there, scored by Wasach. So in case y'all are curious at the score, I would advise you to look behind us at the Sisu mouthguard scoreboard.
138, swish car boom on the jam line for VRDL.
We've got Moonraker once again. Moonraker forcing her way through that pack right before turn number 1. She will be lead jammer.
Swish car boom, up from the inside line, ready to chase and hungry.
And Moonraker doesn't even want to deal with it. She knows the other jammer's right behind, plays it safe, and calls off the jam.
A smart call there.
A smart call, and I don't think anyone will fault her for that call. I tell you, earlier watching some of the bounce, I saw a lot of this where the jammer would try to hold off and try to get 1 or 2 points before pulling it out off. And I think it seemed like more than half the time that move would backfire. Penalty would happen, or the other jammer would get high and score more points.
G-Banger on the line for VRDL. Being viciously pushed to the inside by some very effective blocking. Once again, it's Vista and Volga Vixen this time.
Meanwhile, Moonraker out in front, getting by Chuck. Excuse me, that is Harry Slaughter. That is Harry Slaughter jamming for Wasach. And she will be lead jammer.
G-Banger found her buddies there, used them as a help batter her way through using them.
So Harry Slaughter getting a few helps from her teammates, pushes her way up, calls off the jam, but unfortunately it looks like 0 points will be scored for either team.
Mad Melorina on the line for VRDL.
And this time it is Moonraker on the line for Wasach.
Two teams both very fond of physical scrum football like us. And it looks like I spoke too soon. VRDL is using the technique we've seen a few times this tournament, zooming forward at the last minute.
Yeah, they kind of spread it out. As they have lead jammer, that is Mad Melorina getting through the pack first.
Look at this incredible play here, trying to hold it back.
That is Rocky holding back Moonraker. She's eventually able to get through.
Big pile up there, and it looks like number 6 of the pivot, Skady Gaga, is going to the penalty box for a low block.
I'll tell you, there's so much that happened to Derby that it's hard to catch it all. And I don't know if anyone else saw that, but Skady Gaga was laying there on the ground, and Rocky did like an amazing jump to get over her and landed on her skates.
It looked like it could have been a painfully intimate moment for there. I really admire the dedication of these skaters to have that kind of agility. 1-3-8, swish, Cara, boom on the track.
And we have got Bugs Bunny on the track for Wasach.
Looks like there might have been an extra pivot cover, handily thrown away.
Yeah, there was one of the penalty bombs that Skady Gaga, Carlos Scripps not realizing it, had her still on. But meanwhile, it
looks like we have, I think for the first time, power jam in Victoria's favor. Swish, Cara, boom coming through to be lead jammer. Victoria's trying to slow down. Wasach doing a wall at the back.
Yeah, that was a forearm from Bugs Bunny. And I'll tell you, up until this point, I believe you're right, that may be the first power jam, as Wasach has been playing a really relatively clean game thus far.
And it looks like the captain of Wasach kind of starts sense for direction of gameplay.
And so now, all of a sudden, Wasach with only 2 blockers on the track. And how quickly things can change as we got a little jammer ping pong going on. As Swish Caribou's going to take a seat.
Yes, indeed. Forearm penalties can be an interesting kind of sensitivity these days. It's not how hard you hit somebody with your hands or forearms, but what kind of impact it has. And if the referee's assessment is you use that forearm to get advantage, for example, get past another skater, you have to take a minute to sit down.
So Melanie Pfister out there trying to give a little help to Buns Bunny. Buns Bunny up against Shunt. Looks like we still have a valid tag machine battling Ruby Brick Crusher. Finally getting through, and that will be 5 points for Wasatch.
Swish Caribou charging through. Once again, Pfister trying to mess with her game. And again, powerful hit there. Swish Caribou manages to hold it in, continuing the chase. Looks like she's released with an out-of-play penalty being given to Pfister.
So that is Katie Gaga who is coming off.
You're absolutely right.
Out of the penalty box. Actually, this is she came out of the penalty box this jam and went back in.
Straight into action.
Absolutely. So we've got under 5 minutes left to play. Wasatch seems to have a pretty good lead thus far. Moonraker lined up once again, jamming for Wasatch.
0-1-0 G-Banger on the line for the RDL.
Moonraker gets knocked down, right back on her feet. Battling against Calamity Maine currently.
Yes, lead jammer.
That is G-Banger who got the lead jammer status for Victorian. Wow, I saw lead battle Calamity Maine putting a big hit on Bruce Rigo, knocking her out of bounds.
Great assist there from Tiger. Helping a jammer go through to I think 3 points at the end.
It was 3 points, and that was a hard-earned 3 points. There's a lot of hitting going on inside that pack.
Yes, indeed.
Lined up again, we've got Skull Candy for Wasatch.
Mad Ballerina, PRDO. And I'm not sure if the audience can see, but from here we're seeing a lot of really snug jam starts, I'd say. A lot of butt-to-butt kind of action, getting a feel for each other right before the whistle starts, and then leaping into action.
I'll tell you, roller derby's a cozy game. Those girls
Well, if you're touching them, you know where they are.
yeah, I see a big roar from the fans over that far side. Unfortunately, I can't see what exactly happened.
But Mad Ballerina comes through for a lead jammer.
Meanwhile, Colonel Skirt's headed to the penalty box. Skull Candy get through the pack and will begin her scoring run.
Mad Mount pushed out on the inside line, wisely calling it rather than try to recycle through. An official review is being called.
It looks like it is being called. Is that?
I think it was towards Liardia.
So Victorian calling for the official review.
And looking at the way the fingers are pointing, I believe it's Wasatch's, but I will go and investigate further.
I think that could be a correction right there. Yeah, it looks like they are pointing towards Wasatch, and it is their timeout. We want to remind everybody that tonight, the Cowfish Dance Club will be the official after-party location. Come out and dance it up at the Cowfish Dance Club as soon as this derby concludes.
second hit was actually a pelvic collarbone, resulting in a high block major block stand.
All right, so it looks like the outcome is everything stays the same. And with that result, we hear a whistle and we are ready to get this match started. Lined up, number 623, Moonraker for Wasatch.
And swish, karaboom for VRDL.
And there goes the whistle. Little jammers like we've seen all time, but the walls are impenetrable for both those paths.
Swish karaboom briefly getting progress against that outside line before she is knocked right back to the back of the path. But the second time is the chance she leads just by a few inches. She manages to lead jammer.
Swish Caribou that time, it was like once she fell down and was able to move away from that pack a little bit, saw that outside open, took advantage and was able to get the lead jammer status.
Sometimes getting knocked down just makes you stronger.
Every now and then that happens. So in that last jam, of course, Moonraker, like you said, right behind. So Swish Caribou calls it off immediately, and 0-point score for both teams. We've got Harry Slaughter lined up to jam for Wasatch.
G-Banger for VRDL. G-Banger chasing that inside line, zigging and zagging, trying to get her way through.
Harry Slaughter still kind of bumping and grinding as well. Takes on a big hit.
But it looks like it's G-Banger's dancing and it's not Gibble. And she gets through the lead corner.
And that big hit on Harry Slaughter looks like it's going to send her to the penalty box for a forearm.
So here's an incredibly risky power jam against Wasatch. VRDL has a great opportunity here, especially with this blocker differential.
So we've got Colonel Skirts, Bruiserigo, and Skatey Gaga out there blocking currently for Wasatch, trying to slow down G-Banger as best they can.
The captain of Wasatch attacking from the front, then attacking, so attacking from behind, then attacking from the front. Spreading it out as far as they can before they have to let her go.
Skatey Gaga, Bruiserigo knocking her down. Skatey's going to take her on her own. Victorian.
And the jam is called.
And we're waiting for the call. There it is. We are now at halftime. So, halfway through this bout, Wasatch maintains this lead. 108 to 50. And I'll tell you this, there was quite a comeback there by Victorian. It looked like for
Pushing at that wall of blue. Look at that incredible support there. Wasatch just determinedly holding on to each other, but in a way that doesn't do a penalty, just to make life as difficult as possible.
and that is Harry Slaughter coming out of the penalty box for Wasatch.
But not in time to stop Mad Mal from becoming lead jammer.
Harry Slaughter still trying to battle her way through, trying to get a little help from Bruiserigo.
Mad Mal getting a little bit of help from her friends, but it's looking a little bit unfriendly at the moment, but that she doesn't care. Scoots on the outside to grab 5 points.
Harry Slaughter, meanwhile, does get through the pack, begins her scoring run. Mad Ballerina sees her behind and goes ahead and calls off the jam. So tell us a little bit about how the penalties go in that first half.
Go ahead.
So,
How's that video look?
amazingly clean and tight. We've been seeing some very vigorous derby this weekend with a lot of high penalty counts. But this time around, 13 minutes in the box for VRDL, 4 of those are jammer minutes, and Wasatch, 12 minutes in the penalty box, 2 of those are the jammer was serving.
All right, back out now there for Wasatch. We have Moonraker jamming.
G-Banger stuck in the middle, being pushed to the outside. And she thinks she has it, but sadly, a cut track on her. This is just the sort of news that VRDL does not need. Wasatch jammer alone on the track.
And it's got to be a frustrating penalty. She did have lead jammer. Moonraker still stuck in the back. Moonraker through. I don't think she realized that a power jam was going on.
And it looks like the coach says, you're all set. You can stay on the track. We think these two jammers should juke it out again. I think that's what our coach is saying.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly what the coach is saying. Stay out there, give us one more.
Okay, really
You deserve these points.
Okay.
So as mentioned, it is a power jam situation. Moonraker out there alone jamming.
The audio has all their blockers on the track. Wasach down one blocker. We'll see if that makes a difference.
So Tiger and Chuck out there in front, trying to hold off Moonraker. Finally, we get a no-back situation. Moonraker allowed to go through, and she will be lead jammer.
4 on 4 now, opting for keeping it slow.
And once again, that is Chuck and Tiger up there, frustrating Moonraker.
Colonel Scott's tried to grab herself a go, but I do believe that it looks like they've managed to grab something delicious for a little while at least.
Moonraker goes down, stands back up. Looks like the flying nunchucker took a hard hit. A little bit disappointed, no call is being made. But we do see Melanie Fisher on the podium box. I don't know if that was the same call or not.
Look at that, incredible pushing there. Great big, just steady, sustained shoulder pushing there, right there. Forcing her out. Smash and pop, showing that she can push and pop too.
And as she was pushed out of bounds, she called off the jam. 3 points being scored for Wasach.
Swish Caraboom standing proudly at the line.
And we've got Skull Candy out there for Wasach.
The audio claiming that back spot. Wasach practically sitting at the audio.
Now all skaters getting low.
Big pile up here at the back. Bit of white and blue on the ground.
I believe that was Perky Nana who fell, Skull Candy falling over.
And Swish Caraboom surging out the front.
And she will be lead jammer. Skull Candy tries to go to the outside, bumps into Perky Nana.
Some great teamwork here. Trying to hold back Skull Candy.
She is able to get to the pack and will begin her scoring run.
5 points for Swish Caraboom and yeah.
0 points scored by Wasach.
Mad Ballerina.
So Wasach coach has a little bit more concern. He is back talking to the officials. Looks like no review or anything's going to be called as he scuffles off back to the bench right before the jam begins.
Very cozy 3-on-3 start here. Incredibly physical action.
That is Moonraker jamming once again for Wasach. She ends up getting Mad Ballerina jamming for Victoria. Mad Ballerina does a little bounce against Stevie Gaga, ends up getting through, and she will be lead jammer.
Mad Mel up on one skate, trying to hold it together. She's being interfered with. In a totally illegal, being pushed by the skaters interfered with kind of way.
She decides to call off the jam after scoring 2 points. Moonraker had got through the pack and was close to getting to position to score.
G-Bang is standing up on the line.
And we've got Skull Candy ducking down low on the line.
Looks like Wasach has managed to grab that very back line this time.
Once again, we see a little dancing as the jammers jockey for position.
A lot of amazing dancing up on toe stops. A lot of G-Bang pushing away, but
This Skull Candy. Skull Candy finally pushes her way through. She will be lead jammer.
G-Bang are fighting against an incredibly dense wall. It's hard to even see her amongst all of it. Pulling a little bit free, just that final difficult last line of defense. Can she get through? Will she get eaten? But no, she manages to get through on her initial pass.
And it looks like Skull Candy's going to go ahead and call it off. G-Banger looked a little frustrated there by Olga Vixen, who was bouncing her around. Skull Candy once goes out of bounds, rather than get back in, just decides to call it off.
Swish Caribou on the line for
Swish Caribou.
Victoria. Swish Caribou.
It's kind of fun to say, isn't it? Swish Caribou.
It is. Maybe we should share a little. I guess I could say some Wasach numbers if you like.
We can share all you want. I'm a very sharing person, in case you didn't know.
623 Moonraker for Wasach.
Absolutely.
Creating a little bit of trouble, helping her blocker take on Swish Caribou as well. Not just the jammer that we're blocker, but looks like Swish Caribou, she doesn't care. She's going to get through it anyway.
Moonraker doing a little dance and spinning around, manages to stay in bounds, at least the first time. Not the second time, was not, and she will be called for.
Swish Caribou, zigging and zagging left and right, her agility causing blockers to fall and stumble. It looks like a great call from the referees there. You cannot block a skater skating backwards, so she's going to have to spend a little bit of time smacking Decker, but don't smack her backwards.
So smacking that on the penalty box, Swish Caribou back out there, this time on the outside. Gets pushed out by Skady Gaga, but manages to still pick up 5 points for Victorian.
My heart stopped for a moment, but then I saw the no penalty. Let's see what kind of leaping mounds VRDL can pull out right now. Certainly incredibly physical there, causing blockers to fall. Another 5 points.
So we got a little tumble there between Bruce Rieger and Skady Gaga. They fall over each other right there in front of the pack.
The IDL forcing Wasach to back up a little, coming through for another 5 points.
That time Swish Caribou did like a little stutter step. And then when she turned on the jets, I don't think Wasach saw her coming. And Moonraker on the track and immediately gets called by another cutting the track penalty. And will head back to the penalty box for another minute. Swish Caribou, 5 more points. And we're going to see a timeout by Wasach.
It looks like I'm seeing the gesture for an official review. I'll go and see what I can do to investigate.
We have Phil Dirk coming to help us out. He will assist us in finding out what this official review is all about.
The one and only Phil Dirk.
The one and only Phil Dirk. What will we do without him?
A little better at night.
So like we said, Victorian definitely not giving up. It looked like for a while Wasach was going to run away with this. Victorian has now closed the gap to 33 points.
Just incredible. I mean, I thought it was crazy enough this morning when I saw the RDL against Arizona pull crazy stuff out. And so now the score being 120 in Wasach's favor, 87 for VRDL. But I have no idea how this game will go with 20 minutes left.
All right, folks, from the center, Flaming Gala for VRDL has asked for a review on the penalties on the jammer for Wasach. She was assigned the penalty going into turn 3 and did not leave the track until much later, thinking she also earned an insubordination.
Very interesting. We'll see what the officials decide. It seems like Wasach has lost a little bit of that momentum they had in that first half. So this should kind of just be another, I don't know what way I want to put it, but just another kind of dab in the back, slow them down a little bit more.
Well, while we're here, let's talk about Green Monster. It is the proud maker of some of the most innovative and well-known products in Derby, with brands like Antic Skateboards, Boots, the only high-top boot in the industry, to the #1 toe-stop in Derby, Gumballs, and the cutting-edge design of Reckless Wheels. Green Monster has continued to develop the most advanced and highly sought-after brands in Derby. Green Monster, instigated as the next big thing.
So it looks like the officials may have decided as they're discussing their decision with the officials or with the coaches.
All right, decision has been made by our head referee, Charmer, that yes, she did take too long to exit the track, so Wasach's jammer gets a second medal in the penalty box for an insubordination. Back to you, Drew.
Thank you very much, Phil. So Mad Ballerina will be out there on her own as Moonraker will be sitting 2 minutes in the penalty box.
the way of those jammers.
So the jam has begun.
Leaning in, but very agile footwork there. Facing down, kind of playing chicken there, trying to face down the backbend, Colonel Scott. But she manages to push through. She is no chicken, becoming the lead jammer.
So they get a third blocker out there now, Smack and Decker. And once again, Matt Melorina just be able to come in hard and go right in between Colonel Skirts and Melanie Pfister.
We're seeing quite some active offense here, not just the passive slow it down. On the previous pass, Rocky did some great pushing out of the Wasatch skaters to make space for her jammer.
So Melanie Pfister keeping her eyes right there on Matt Melorina as his second Decker. And now, even though the jammer's still in the box for Wasatch, Victoria doesn't have any blockers out there. One blocker to help Matt Melorina.
Just going to the incredible agility here, kind of truck and trailer kind of action, holding back. Once again, we have the kind of playing chicken situation, facing down Colonel Scutts.
Certainly making her take her time, trying to pull off this penalty.
5 points, VRDO.
This time the blockers for Victorian come up to help out the jammer, but only doing so much as she continually goes out of bounds by Melanie Pfister.
Matt Melorina chasing the outside line, seeing if she can get some better luck there. Swiftly pushed out.
That is Penny Sling right in that penalty, and they're going way back, forcing that jammer all the way around.
Wasatch trying to buy them time and just, as I say, they were trying to kill the spirit of the jammer. I'm not sure you can kill the spirit of Melorina, but they're certainly going to try.
And Matt Melorina obviously extremely frustrated because she gets pushed out of bounds one more time. And you know, they scored a few points, maybe got about 10 points in that jam, but I think Wasatch overall did an excellent job at killing that penalty.
Just amazing skating there.
So now we got Skull Candy. Jammer back in for Wasatch.
G Banger in the hanger for VRDO.
Jam has begun. Skaters kind of dancing back and forth. Yeah, Skull Candy up to the front, doing a little pushing.
Rocky back on the track. She did a great job making some goals for her jammer before. Looks like comes through fast, does not come through clean. Forearms being a real issue for VRDO here. So we have 5, 1, 3, 4. Skull Candy is the lead jammer.
So Skull Candy gets back and forth, goes out, goes in, and she is going to score 5 points for Wasatch.
Wasatch keeping it slow. VRDL getting ready. I would not like to face that wall of wire.
I don't think it bothers Skull Candy one bit. She looks great to fight that wall of white. It's like Skull Candy is getting a little bit of help from her blockers.
2 torsos against her.
They're trying to open up that wall.
Skull Candy being pushed outside by a pivot. Smash and pop. Quickly steps back. Digging inside and outside.
And Skull Candy's going to go ahead and call off the jam. Scores an additional 4 points for Wasatch.
G-Bang is standing in the box now.
So we've got Moonraker out there one more time for Wasatch. And the lead by Wasatch now has narrowed down to 28 points.
VRDL giving up that back line so that they can reunite with all 4, having a strong wall.
So Wasatch going to immediately back, and once again we see another one of those multiplayer block penalties being called. Moonraker going to get through, and she will be lead jammer.
G-Bang piling up into the back, pushing against the shoulders of both 7-7 Colonel Skirts and 3-3-3 Fister.
Moonraker, unbelievable. Kind of dancing her way, fits in between two blockers, and that is going to be 5 points for Wasatch.
G-Bang is struggling against
A whole lot of battling going on in the pack right there, and they just seem to leave that inside open. No one noticed except for Moonraker, who just danced right through, is going to get another quick 5 points.
G-Bang managing to get through.
So Victorian down to 2 blockers. This time they close out that inside. Moonraker spinning around though. Getting around that last line of defense, and that is 5. 4 points for Wasatch as she calls off the jam.
Coming up into the jammer lane right now, we have Swish Power Boom and 5-1-3-4 Skull Candy.
So both jammers lining up. It seems like Wasatch is starting to take control over this bout once again, after it seemed like for a little bit. They're kind of, I guess Victorian was getting back into this bout.
Yeah, I don't know what. It's amazing to think we've got how close this game feels. And they're only 43 points between them. And it seems kind of strange in a way to say only 43 points, but with the skills of these jammers, if they can wriggle their way through these savage defenses, 43 points isn't actually that much.
So it looked like we did a little bit of a discussion amongst the officials.
I will go investigate.
We will send you out, go investigate, and find out what the discussion is for. And a decision has been made. I don't know if you see any changes. Looks like the official is talking to Randy Fister.
In the previous game, blue 3-3-3 was assessed by we are a stronger, misconduct, initiating contact to the head with the head.
So Melanie Fister playing a hard game so far. Looks like being ejected for gross misconduct. See how Wasatch performs without her. Kind of what the aim is this team for Wasatch roller derby.
An arm and head is a little bit like a bullet, so we thank our referee for making sure that there's a, we make sure that we do not try to contact heads with heads, especially.
Absolutely. The top priority is keeping the safety of the skaters out there. So Skull Candy was actually Swish Caribou but got to the pack first. And once again we see that momentum change as she gets sent to the penalty box for cutting the track. And that is Skull Candy now with Lee Jammer.
PRDL lining up with their strong wall of white, which seems to be incredible team play here. Some dancing up on the toe stops, trying to get through, pushing against those shoulders with everything she's got. And she's got quite a bit.
She did. Skull Candy eventually trying to got through. Great defense though there by Victoria.
The wall of white again. Look at all those twist-ups and legs crossing over each other. Looking more like a grapevine. Just incredible tap dancing here. Unfortunately, some of that tap dancing generated a penalty. PRDL now 3 on the track.
We see Colonel Skirts now skating to the penalty box as we have 3 for both blockers. Skull Candy gets to the pack again, gets by Tiger, and she will call off the jam. 5 more points for Wasatch.
Making the points accumulated in that jam 15, and in the previous jam by Wasatch 15 as well. 2 powerful jams back to back.
So yeah, kind of like I said a little bit ago, it looks like Wasatch has kind of regained momentum as they are opening up back to close to a 6-point lead in this bout. And the power jam continues as we now have Moonraker up there jamming for Wasatch.
Swish Boom waiting patiently, standing in the box.
So Wasatch doing the slaying the bridge, or they're going to stretch this out as far as they possibly can. Make Swish Caribou almost go back half a lap to get back in.
It's kind of, in that situation, that's actually offense and defense in terms of slowing it down.
So Moonraker able to get through the pack. She will score an additional 5 points for Wasach.
Swish Caribou zooming through, determined to limit the damage. The wall of white up at the front, working together. Calls it, we'll see if she managed to get past any hits, but no. The VRDL controls that situation. Jam is caused to be called before any points are scored. For Wasach, in blue, we have 5134, Skull Candy.
And for Victorian, in white, we have 505, Mad Bell Arena. And there's the whistle, they get started. Skull Candy trying to use that small frame to squeeze in between Smash and Pop and Rocky.
Pack speeding up as it tries to contain Mad Mel, who quickly spins around, chasing that inside line. They cannot hold her back. She comes through. She is the lead jammer.
Skull Candy still in the back of the pack. Get a little help from her blocker, see if she can get through. Skull Candy's going to hang back and play a little defense.
Playing a little defense, unfortunately, looks like she got a penalty low block there, and Mad Mel is now on her own, ready to pick up some of those points.
I think that's probably the last thing that Skull Candy wanted, obviously, to pick up that penalty.
But I'd say 5 points is exactly what VRDL wants.
Absolutely.
Dancing, she manages to get away through a hole towards the middle. 5 points again. Keeping the slow game is such a physical game, such a punishing game. The bruises these skaters are going to have. Skating up on one foot. Mad Mel just will not say die. Coming through for another 5 points.
So we've got a full complement of blockers out there currently for Wasach. That is Colonel Skirts, Crystal Brawl, Skady Gaga, and Bruce Rigo doing what they can to slow her down.
Rocky running a little bit of interference, but then choosing to slow things down. Trying to force them out. Mad Mel going to that legal target zone, a bit of chicken there. It's really important. Takes a lot of skill and be precise. Yes, you can charge yourself in someone's torso, but if your head contacts theirs, then that's really, really bad. So you've got to be very precise if you're facing down someone's frontal area. Another 5 points for VRDL.
Skull Candy back on the track. Unfortunately, she will not score any points as the jam gets called off.
G banger on the line for VRDL.
And we will see Moonraker on there for Wasach.
VRDL grabbing that back line.
There's the whistle, the jam has begun.
G-Banger looking for an opportunity.
As is Moonraker, looks like Rocker through the middle. Moonraker is going to make it to the outside. She will be lead jammer.
G-Banger caught up in that incredible kind of diamond of blue there. Manages to nimbly sidestep in all directions to go through.
Moonraker's just going to kind of casual skate, and we'll see what she does. Moonraker yelling to her pack, wants them to speed it up as much as they can.
G-Banger hot on her tail. Forearm major being called.
And that'll send Bruce Rigger to the penalty box. Moonraker continually to slow it down a little bit while trying to get her pack to move, and I'm not sure if she was trying to kill a little clock there or what, but it seemed like she wanted to wait as long as she possibly could before calling that jam.
VRDL calls for a timeout. Time for a bit of a breather. Just incredible action here. Wasach 164, VRDL 121, 8.5 minutes left.
It is, you can feel the tension on both sides as they kind of realize that this bout is still very what's in question?
Aw, and hugs on the jammer line.
Who was on the jammer line? I didn't hear you.
Hugs are on the jammer
Oh,
line.
hugs are on the
Hugs
jammer
are on the jammer
I'm
line.
looking at her roster list thinking, well, I don't see no hugs on here anywhere. What is she talking about? This girl's gone crazy.
I'm messing with your roster. I'm in your roster giving you hugs.
You know I don't think that quickly. You gotta keep it easy for me. So it looks like we are having an official discussion. I'm not sure if it's just part of the timeout. Looks like there's this is like the timeout, so refs decided to talk about a few things.
I can see the head and a sofa this bout with a careful eye to the paperwork. Some about like this, you want to double, triple, quadruple check everything you've got. An important game for two incredible teams, both proving themselves, both quite new, both incredibly exciting.
So it looks like we're ready to go. That is Skull Candy jamming for Wasach. Wow, I mean that was, she just kind of pushed her way in there, made her way, got that lead jammer status.
No time to say her name, just time to feel her impact. And she charges through again for a natural grand slam.
So Skull Candy, they're still letting her do it on her own. She's there up against Chuck.
A blast of whistles there, multiplayer block, looks like it'll be a 3-3 pack now as one of the IDL skaters has to leave. Once again through 5 points, VRDL.
And there's Skull Candy, that's the speed we expect out of her. She goes to the outside, and she now begins her scoring jam. Switch gear, Boomhawk, through again, she's going to pick up 4 more points before calling the jam.
What an incredible
Victorian
jam.
fans, where are you out there?
14 points. 14 points.
All right, it looks like we're looking at the penalties as they always have a pretty big impact in this game, and currently both teams sitting equally at 24 minutes in the box. So that's kind of been a, I guess somewhat as a non-factor.
Wow. But I think who's in the box has played an incredible impact here.
And that does make a difference. We got Moonbreaker out there jamming for Wasach.
And
Moonbreaker through, she will be lead jammer.
Amazing with Mad Melorina trying to take that inside line, having a bit of a tussle with Colonel Skirts.
We got a fast moving pack out there.
Tiger is just saying, no, you may not touch my jammer.
Moonbreaker looks like she got a little hit to the nose. She's dancing back and forth and going to call off the jam. 3 points going to be scored there by Wasach.
So amazing. Oh my goodness.
It looks like the ref for Wasach got hit by a skate there at the very end.
The referee is up and smiling. Take that as a good sign.
Well, fortunately, I believe it was another ref who hit him, so he can't really penalize any of the skaters.
It just goes to show how incredibly physical this game is. Just the referees trying to keep up with this action, keep an eye on, especially these dense packs where so much is happening. Some refs might go up onto tippy toes so they can peer down, some crouching down so they can have a look. It's an amazing game that's physical for everyone involved.
So we're lining back up. Looks like we're ready to start. Skull Candy's out there for Wasach.
G Banger getting nice and low, seeing if she can find a hole to wiggle her way through. Playing a bit of chicken there with number 6, Skating Gaga.
Skull Candy sees an opening. It's quickly closed up by Chuck. She's still battling against Chuck.
And we have a lead down from G Banger.
Meanwhile, Skull Candy's going to be headed to the penalty box for a cutting the track penalty.
A load lock has been Yadiel keeping it slow, meaning T-Bang has to face down this brutal wall of blue. A little bit more chicken there. We've seen some incredible physical action here. This time 7-7-7. Colonel Skirt's the captain. Manages to get past that zone of engagement for 5 points.
And they're gonna continue to let her do it on her own, it looks like, as the Victorian blockers kind of in that line playing that passive offense.
Once again, having to face down the Cap's torso. Facing down the side there. Big, strong legal hit. 5 points.
G-Banger doing a little fake out move to the outside, goes back in. And it looks like they're going to get a multi-player offense call. And that'll send Vulgar Mixes to the penalty box. As the jam is called.
BREO, Australia's first lifter team.
And I hate to say it, with 5 minutes left in this bout, it is now 12 points difference between Wasach and Victorian.
Oh my God.
Skullgate is still in the penalty box. We got Swish Caribou out there jamming for Victorian.
I don't know how these guys are skating. I am trembling.
They're going to let Swish Caribou do it around. See if they can get through.
This guy being chased by a freshly, it looks like she's being called for illegal procedure.
Immediately get called. That's going to send her back out and the power jam will continue for Victorian.
Swish Caribou seeping a oh my. This is so intense.
Swish Caribou battling against Skating Gaga. Lead change as Victorian has taken the lead.
Swish Caribou pushing it.
Kind of just juicy back and forth between Colonel Skirts and Skating Gaga.
A savage was there. 5 points, 3 audios.
Stays in bounds again.
No, that can't be legal.
Now there are 4 blockers on the track, and with the kind of blocking that Wasach has, this is no fun for any jammer.
Well, that time Vulgar Mixon was able to get it on bounds.
The big hits there, but big hits getting squished like a sandwich press from between. I think she'll be skinnier at the end of this as her shoulders are squished in, but manages to stay on her feet. Coming through again.
Swish Caribou with the Rico putting a big hit on her.
Forcing the song coming back, all the way back.
And that's going to be a penalty on Bruce Rigo for cutting the track. Swish Caribou back up. The jam will conclude with another 5 points.
I do believe that was a 2-minute jam.
And now Victorian picks up a 23-point lead. We do have a official, looks like an official review. We see Ethan out there that goes to Wasach.
And this is by no means, in terms of some of the power jams that have happened before, we've seen Wasach do some 30-point jams over the course of the tournament, some 34-point jams, so let's see how this goes.
Looks like getting a little investigated behind that with the concern was, by Effin, that he wanted the official review. Just over 2 minutes still remain in this bout.
Blue Jammer 5 South forward illegally re-entered the pack from the box and was sent back out for re-entry. For exiting the track, was issued an insubordination for foul language towards an official.
Those calls were challenged, but they have been upheld. The referees have had a discussion, and all those penalties stand. So that means Wasach 2 minutes in the penalty box.
And Spokane continues to sit down as we get back started. Boy, what a bout we've seen. It was really going back and forth. Victorian now at the jam here at the end. And it's Arena kind of do it on her own.
Dangerous jam number, dangerous blockers. Facing down the feet to the crowd. So Wasach feet, I am prepared to face down death.
So Matt Mellarina doing a couple of fake outs going back and forth. As Matt Mellarina is lead jammer.
Cal circling some incredibly devastating now. Manages to slow it down but not hold her back for another 5 points to the RDL.
And we have Skull Candy back on the track for Wasach. Kind of skating back and forth but unable to get through that pack.
Mad Mellarina held up at the front.
Skull Candy's still trying to get to that initial pass. She's up against Tiger. Got that arm, goes out of bounds. And all the way back around.
Being hit to the outside, forcing the recycle. The RDL down on blocker.
Skull Candy back and forth, gets through, and she will begin her scoring run.
Now Mellarina trying to get up that outside line, almost hit out, but dances up onto her toe-step. Then dances up onto her toe-step on the inside.
Meanwhile, Skull Candy not giving up. Jumps that apex to score 5 points for Wasach.
A natural grand slam.
She will take it. Little stretches her arms, picking up those 5 more points for Victorian. And it looks like we can't look the food. 4 additional points scored by Wasach. It looked like 1 additional score by Victorian. Timeout being called by Wasach.
But do they get the timeout?
Oh, excuse me, I'm not sure if they got it.
So it looks, the NSOs are checking. I'll just see if I can find out how much time is on the clock. 7 seconds are on the clock.
It looks like that timeout was called before the clock expired. Boy, it's hard to believe that just a few minutes ago, Wasach was leading this round by about 40.
And I gotta say, like, having seen some of Moonraker's skating throughout this incredible tournament that we are so lucky to be a part of, if anyone could pull this out of the bag, well, there are several Wasach fans that could do it, really. Several incredible ones, but I would say 6-2-3, Moonraker is definitely winning.
We do have Moonraker out there ready to jam.
And G-Banger to the RDL.
And there goes the whistle. Jam has begun. Moonraker looking for an opportunity.
G-Banger looking to find a way to break through that wall, but not finding one yet.
Moonraker tips over and she will get a cut in the track penalty.
Oh my goodness. The RDL losing the ball, but just and she comes through. Just lead down.
Victorian just fought their way back little by little, and they will end up being the victors of this bout.
It's just mind-boggling, incredible. It's just wow. I mean,
It is, and that's going to lead Wasach to their first loss of this weekend. I believe that Victorian has not lost this weekend as they won. It's irrespective. Thank you very much, Moon. She gave a big shout out to Scooter Boy. We love Moonraker to death.
what amazing teams. Just the hug, and just the crowd gathered around, ready to shout, adoration. How can you not love these two teams with such heart? So fierce, so wonderful. This is roller derby. Officials tallying and double checking and cross checking. They've got a lot of numbers to count.
They're going to make sure that it is official, but like I said, with a 30-point differential, I think it's pretty comfortable that Victorian has won. So let's give a big congratulations to Victorian. They have come out here tirelessly.
Congratulations to VRDL. The fabulous girls of Victoria, Australia's first Rookie Cup league. They put so much heart and soul in coming all this way.
So they've played 2 bouts a day for 2 days now. Won them all, and you can tell they're very emotional. And let's give a big thanks now to Wasach